Roll top and top loading bags are among my favorite bags to use, and today we're going to talk about it. What's up friends, I'm John and this is UnPack'D, the place where we unpack all the details about your favorite bags, EDC, and travel related gear. And yes, the red brick wall has finally come down. Now, I was tired of holding my wife's office hostage and I decided to try to set up a new filming location. So you guys let me know, what do you think of the background? Let me know down in the comments on what I can improve on. Let me know what you think. But regardless of what's going on in the background, we are still going to unpack all the details about carry gear. And today we are doing the Milthread Talos Rolltop backpack. If you're new here, welcome. I'm going to unpack all the details about this bag. I'm going to show you all the nooks and crannies. I'm going to pack it out, and along the way I'm going to share my experience with this bag because I do use and test every piece of gear that comes across this table. Now, if you're looking for something specific, more important to you, please utilize the chapters down below because sometimes these reviews can get a little long-winded, but utilize the chapters down below if you want to skip ahead to a section that's more important to you. So just in case you're unfamiliar with Miltread, they're a Los Angeles-based carry company that is producing some of the most durable bags on the market. Now, how they're able to do that is they're using military-grade materials and constructing them to a military-grade standard. Now, everything to the thread, to the way the bag is put together, is met to a military spec, a mil spec, hence the name Miltread. Now, even though these bags are military inspired and built to last, if you take a look at their website, which I highly recommend you do, you're gonna notice one thing about their bags. They have color, they have design element, they stand out. And that was one thing that was a nice surprise to me when I cruised their website. You're gonna find all the usual suspects, backpacks, slings, even duffel bags, but they're all gonna have some sort of flair and some sort of design element to it. They're not just gonna be your basic duffel, your basic backpack that you're used to seeing. So I'm going to hit you with the tech specs right here on the screen. So there's going to be a few numbers that are going to stick out to you. So the first one is going to be that 23-inch height. Now keep in mind that that's the bag fully extended. This is a roll top, so there's not going to be very many situations where you're going to pack this bag out all the way to the brim where you cannot unroll it. But just keep that in mind, even though that it is 23 inches high, it does fold down and it does lock in here on the side. So it still feels like a comfortable backpack to carry, still feels like something you can carry every day. So the other number that stuck out to me right away was the listed weight of 2 pounds. Now, when I weighed it on my own personal scale, it came in at 2.2 pounds, which is pretty darn close. So a 30-liter bag at 2.2 pounds puts that into some pretty elite status as far as weight to liter capacity. So the bag is available in 5 different colors: black, silver dust, sand, multicam, and midnight. Midnight's the one I have for you right here, which is like a navy blue. So these bags are made in America and they're backed by a lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects. So all that is going to cost you $350, except for the multicam bag. That one's going to run you $375. Now, being a military constructed bag, some military standard with military grade materials, it's, built to last and assembled in America, that's going to be the reason why they're priced a little bit higher. I mean, American manufacturing just costs a little bit extra. It is what it is, but I know that's important to some people. What I have here is my personal item sizer box. Now, it's a common size used amongst many airlines, but not every airline uses this size, so always double check before you fly. I have this bag packed out, I would say about 75% at its maximum capacity, so it's still at a manageable size. Now, as long as you don't pack this bag all the way out, it should easily pass as a personal item on most airlines. Now, if you do want to pack this bag fully out and extend the roll top all the way out, it's going to be more into that carry-on category, but again, it should still pass as a carry-on. But as you can see, if you keep it at about 75% capacity with the roll top folded down, easily passes as a personal item. Now, starting with the overall aesthetics of the bag, it's a roll top, so it's going to have a distinct look in itself because you can roll this top flap material, or like I did in this case, it just, flip the flap over and tie it into the side. But the thing that's going to set this bag apart from a lot of other things you're going to see on the market is the way that Miltread designed this bag and the color scheme. So they're using 4 different colors, but in no way does this bag look super busy or out of place. The main material here is a navy color, and it's tied in with all of this coyote brown on the back and on the sides of the webbing, and orange stitching across all the bag, military grade stitching, that helps tie in this coyote. And then you have the gray accents on the zippers and along the bottom of the bag. And again, it's 4 different colors all mixed together, but in no way does it look busy or, too overwhelming and too outlandish that you wouldn't want to wear the pack. So the primary fabric of this pack is a 500D water resistant Cordura material. And for me, 500D is that sweet spot of Cordura material. Now, while 1000D is gonna provide you with some additional abrasion resistance, it's gonna be very hard, very rough, like kind of like sandpaper. And this 500D feels real nice, real soft right out of the bag. No break-in period required like the 1000D. So it's still gonna offer you plenty of abrasion resistance and plenty of water resistance, but with the added benefit of being nice and soft right out of the gate. The downside to this material, it's going to be a little bit of a pet hair and lint magnet. So if you do own anything in Cordura, you already know what I'm talking about, but just be prepared to hit this pack every now and then with a lint roller, because it does seem to be a little bit of a magnet. And that's one of the downsides too. No matter what denier Cordura you get, whether it be 500 or 1000, it's still going to be the same. It's still going to attract a little bit of dust and pet hair. So getting into some of the exterior features of this bag, there are 5 zipper compartments, and every zipper compartment is using a YKK zipper. Now, just in case you don't know, YKK zippers are considered to be some of the best zippers in the game. Now here, Milthread has tied everything in together with these color matched zippers in Coyote with these Hyperlon zipper pulls. And again, these zippers are buttery smooth. Now, each side of the bag is equipped with a water bottle pocket, and they're pretty generous. Now, they are not meshy water bottle pockets, they are fabric and sewn in, but depending on how you pack the inside of the pack, you should be able to fit some of your larger bottles on the outside. So this is a 32-ounce bottle. This particular water bottle pocket also has an external pocket on the outside of that. But as you can see, because I loaded a water bottle, it makes using this pocket kind of tight. So it really limits on what you can put into this pocket. Now for me, I actually did use this pocket, but I used it more as kind of like a little trash can. I would throw my napkins, my receipts that I collected throughout the day, kind of threw it all in there. And at the end of the day, I would just toss it out. But just keep that in mind, even though it's a nice little addition of a pocket outside of the pocket, it's going to be a little bit tight if you're using a water bottle. But I do like the design aspect of it, how it breaks up this pocket by adding this gray zipper there. So maybe it's more of an aesthetic feature than anything else. But now if you choose to not use a water bottle pocket on this side, you do gain the extra benefit then of having another pocket. Now the bottom of the bag is equipped with this compression system here. Now this is useful. You can carry any pieces of gear that are bulkier, too big to fit on the inside, like a yoga mat, or you want to throw your beach towel on the outside. And if you don't like the overall look of these compression straps, they're easily removable, so you don't have to live with them. You're not stuck with them. But just like everything else on this bag, you're using Duraflex hardware. And again, if you're not familiar, Duraflexes can be considered some of the best plastic hardware in the game. So you can have full confidence that these plastic buckles are going to last you a long time. So in addition to having these sewn in water bottle pockets along the side, you're going to have this mil-spec webbing. Now this webbing is used to secure the excess material of your roll top, and that's being held together with this metal G-hook. Now it is slotted all the way down, so you can pick your level depending on how you pack the bag. The less you pack it, the more you're going to go all the way down to the bottom, and of course the more you pack it out, you can go all the way to the top. So lots of room for adjustment here, and it easily secures in with this metal G-hook. So even though this is a roll top bag, you still have zippered access along the top, again to help securing your stuff. So in addition to being able to fold over, it's still zippered, so you can be confident that none of your stuff on the inside is going to accidentally spill out, even if your roll top were to come undone. So getting into the harness system and the back panel of this bag, as you can see, these straps are, kind of thin, to be honest. And they are using EVA foam in the straps and on the back panel. So it is nice and padded, but there is no real ergonomic shape and no real thick padding onto these straps. Now, I can tell you from wearing this bag and using this bag in various states of load, even though these are kind of thin and they're not curved, it's actually still pretty comfortable bag. Now, I did notice that the bag was a little bit more comfortable when you weren't carrying a laptop, because when you do carry a laptop, it adds a little bit of structure and you can just feel the back, laptop against your back. Wasn't necessarily uncomfortable, you just notice that it's there. On the shoulder straps, you are going to have an additional gear hook here where you can hook some sunglasses or a carabiner of some sorts. A little bit of branding on the other side, and the bag is equipped with a sternum strap and strap keeper here. But one thing to note, that this sternum strap is not removable. So if you don't like sternum straps or they're not your thing, you're kind of have to live with this one here. But if you like sternum straps, this one's easily adjustable on the fly. Good for making micro adjustments. But it's one thing to note here is that while this does include a strap keeper and your compression straps do include web keepers on the bottom, the shoulder straps themselves don't have web keepers, so I wonder what the reasoning was on that decision. I would like to know why include strap keepers everywhere but on the the shoulder straps. So the back panel on this bag is fully padded with that EVA foam. It's a nice layer, but there are no air breathing channels and there is no luggage pass through on this bag, so it's just something to keep in mind. Now there is no frame sheet, there is no structure to the bag, so it's really going to rely on how you pack this bag out. But like I said, even with these thin straps and these curved straps, the bag was actually pretty comfortable, and I did carry it under various states of load. So up at the top here, you are going to have this carry grab handle. Now it's just some simple nylon webbing, so it's not going to be a handle that you're going to want to carry your bag for extended periods of time, but a great place to hook your bag up, if you're going to a public bathroom. And right above that is probably my favorite pocket of the entire bag. It's the quick access pocket. Now this one is pretty generous pocket. You can fit all your essentials in there. Your wallet definitely fits, and of course if you want to carry your cell phone, that definitely fits down in there too, and you still got plenty of room to toss in your chapsticks and other little odds and ends that you want quick access to right there. Now on the side here, you're gonna have your laptop compartment. Now I was able to fit a 16-inch MacBook Pro, so this is my wood mock-up. I don't actually own a 16-inch MacBook Pro. It does slide in there, but it's very, very, very tight. So while you can get the zipper past it, you kind of have to shove the device in there and to get it closed. It's tight down at the bottom, and I believe that's because the bag tapers down to a skinnier bottom. So yes, you can fit a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but I definitely do not recommend you carry such a big computer because the zippers will kind of grind against your machine right here at the bottom. So your best kept to using something a little bit smaller, a 15-inch or smaller, I would say. So that being said, my 14-inch ThinkBook really just fit in there quite nicely. Now one thing to note, that this doesn't really have a suspended laptop compartment, so you got to keep that in mind. If you're going to put your bag down, the laptop sits pretty much at the bottom, so if you slam your bag down, your device will take the brunt of that force. So you may have noticed this big giant pocket at the front. It does have dual zippers, and that's going to lead you to your admin compartment. Now this compartment is great, especially for a top loading bag, because sometimes it takes a few extra seconds to get into your bag. So things you want quicker access to, you want to put them on the outside here or in that top access pocket on the top of the bag. But you got some pretty good organization here, a couple of pen slots. You got a bigger slot in the back, 2 half slots there and another half slot there. Now all these are sewn in and none of them are adjustable, but they do fit a variety of gear. You can easily fit, a couple of snacks onto one side. You got this key leash here. You can snap your keys in, and then they fit real nice down into this pocket. Then you still got the bottom pocket here, and I kept my flashlight there, my pocket knife, and then you have a couple of pen slots there, to keep a ballpoint pen. And you still have this giant pocket in the back, and it runs all the way down to the bottom. So again, because this pocket has a little bit of depth, I was actually able to keep my little mini first aid kit in that back pocket. It fit all the way down in there, and it didn't make the pocket too bulky. Again, you still got room for more stuff, but this is pretty much all I carried while I was using the bag. So getting into the interior of this bag, once you open it up, it's going to reveal a big giant bucket of a bag. Now this is a 30-liter bag, so it's a pretty big bucket, but you are going to have no additional organization, no zipper pockets of that sort, outside of an elastic sleeve for a tablet or an iPad. Outside of that, nothing else going on the inside. Big giant bucket to load your stuff in. You do have this gray material on the inside to help you better spot your stuff, but this backpack and backpacks like this are going to be best suited for people who pack modular. So if you use packing cubes, pouches, tech pouches of those, those kinds of things, this is going to be a great option for you. Now I'm that type of packer. I pack my stuff in. When I get to work, I unload everything, and at the end of the day, I load everything back. So if you're somebody who likes to work from the bag, taking stuff in and out throughout the day, this is probably not going to be a good option for you, because 1, most of your stuff will be in through the top, and 2, this bag does not stand very well on its own as you start to unpack it. As soon as you take out the base items, this bag's going to tip over. So I know people have a lot of qualms with top loading backpacks. While I love them and they do have their downsides, that being one of them is that it will not stand up on its own. Because of this bag's nature to expand and compress depending on what you carry, this makes this very versatile and what you use it for. So it can easily be an everyday carry pack or a weekender pack. So I'm gonna pack it out for like an everyday carry situation, but I'm gonna throw a little bit of extra in there. I'm gonna show you. So let's just say this is a normal day. At the, you're gonna go to work and do all those things, but you're also gonna hit the gym. So you're gonna wanna pack some gym shoes. Now I have here a pair of size 12 men's trainers. You can easily load those at the bottom. After work, I'm gonna hit the gym. I got a gym shirt and a pair of gym shorts. We're gonna throw those down at the bottom as well. It is a work day, and I like to pack my lunch. So then we'll easily put my lunch down in the bag there. And I need to take my tech kit because I have all my chargers and cables and everything I need throughout the day. Now I already got my laptop loaded. I already got my front admin pocket loaded with all the gear that I carry throughout the day. So this right here is set up in an everyday carry situation. Again, you just zip the top closed, and I like to just flip. Now you can roll, but I found that I like the way the bag looks, and it's a lot easier just to flip it closed. And then I'm just gonna buckle it in on the side with the G-hooks wherever it lands, and for me it's landing in the third slot there. And there you go, the bag's fully packed out for an everyday carry situation. As you can see, it still struggles to stand on its own, so it's not going to be the greatest bag to work out of. Now another packing scenario, because of the versatility of this bag, is for a trip. Now you can easily pack 5 to 7 days in a 30-liter bag real easy, but I'm gonna pack it out for a nice little weekend. I have a large packing cube here from Thule. I got my shoes. Let's go ahead and load my shoes back up. So not most bags you can carry an extra pair of shoes. Again, because of its expandability, you can take your extra pair of shoes. Got my large packing cube here. I got my toiletry kit, my gravel toiletry kit, and I still have my laptop loaded. I still have my front pocket loaded like I did for my EDC loadout, and I'll still throw my tech case right on top. Still have plenty of room, the bag still folds down. So let's just say I wanted to extend this trip a little bit. I wanted to add an additional packing cube. Now I have the Thule small packing cube. Again, you can just pack that in there, and now we're good for a good solid 5 days. Zip that closed, you still have more material to flip over. And again, now it's gonna adjust a little bit higher. It's not gonna hit as low as it did for my EDC loadout. I'm gonna hit here in this second spot versus the third spot for my last loadout. But still have room to expand. The bag still looks pretty, pretty uniform, and it doesn't look big and bulky. So here it is, fully loaded for a 5-day trip, 2 packing cubes, tech kit, toiletry kit, extra pair of shoes. Now, one of the downsides to this bag is that it doesn't have the stretchy water bottle pockets like we talked about earlier. Since this bag is fully packed out, it can easily handle this trip. Pockets are extremely tight. So getting a larger bottle or any bottle into the bottle pockets is going to be extremely tough. Now, while I carried this every day and I did have to load it up quite a bit for work, I actually didn't even use the water bottle pockets. I don't drink water on the fly. I just carry my bottle to work. I actually just carried my water bottle in the main compartment. And again, again, doesn't have the stretchy bottle pockets, but it doesn't mean you can't carry your bottle. More room, you can stuff it on the inside. Now for me, that's an easy fix. I don't really need access to my bottle when traveling like that, and I can take the few seconds to get it out of the top. But I know that could be a nuisance for some of you. Just something to note, the more packed this bag is, the less usable the water bottle pockets are. So I have this bag fully packed out, I would say pretty close to max, and I got all that stuff in there, including my water bottle pocket in the main compartment. Now, for reference, I'm 5'10". Now you can see that the bag, even though it has the ability to expand up, it also protrudes out. So depending on how you pack this bag out, you can really get like a turtle shell look. So if that's something that's a concern for you, please keep that in mind. If you're somebody of smaller stature, just keep that in mind. But it does have the ability to carry all these things, but it also sticks out like a turtle shell. And you know that I'm not the biggest fan of turtle shell looks, but in the worst case scenario, if you need to carry all your gear, this thing can easily fit all the gear. Now, surprisingly, even though the straps are very thin and they didn't have like the curved shape that you find in a lot of bags, It's actually pretty comfortable, even with the laptop in there. Like I said before, you can definitely feel the stiffness of it with the laptop in there, but it's not uncomfortable and it adds more structure to the bag. Now, carrying it without a laptop is a little bit more comfortable, but again, worst case scenario, all your stuff loaded up, including your laptop, it's actually pretty manageable considering the thinness of the straps. One of the things I really enjoyed about using this backpack is its overall versatility. Its ability to fully expand and to compress as I needed it proved to be useful, very useful, because we were experiencing 30-degree temperature swings here in Texas, which is not uncommon around this time of year. You know, start the day off very cold in the mornings and then warm up in the afternoons. And I was able to shed my layers and store them in my bag throughout the day and able to expand as the day went on. So again, the overall versatility of these kinds of bags, and this bag specifically, just proved to be really clutch. You can easily switch from an EDC to a weekender travel backpack and literally just in the adjustment of a couple of buckles. So aesthetics are pretty important to me, and I love that Milthread took some time to put some actual design elements into their backpack. So if you head to their website and you look at their entire catalog, you're gonna notice one thing: that there's not one boring bag in the entire lineup, and this one is no exception. Like we touched at the top of the video, there's 4 different colors into this bag, but it's all tied in very well where it looks like it makes sense. And just from a pure art form perspective, it's a very great accomplishment to have all these different colors like orange and coyote and navy and everything tie in and make it look like it makes sense. I really did enjoy having this bag, looking at this bag, and bringing this bag into the office. I had a couple of coworkers comment on this bag. So that's not something unusual, but it is for me because I bring in all sorts of backpacks as I try and test all the bags that I review here. So it's not every bag I bring into the office gets a comment, but I had a couple of coworkers turn their head and say, hey, which one's that one? Because it's different, it sticks out, it's got colorful, it's got elemental designs, and I really love that about a backpack. While there's lots to love about this backpack, there's no perfect backpack, and I did have a couple of qualms with this one in particular. And the first one being the lack of mesh pockets. Now, I'm not just talking about the water bottle pockets. You know, it'd be nice to have some mesh pockets there so you can fit some bottles a lot easier with a tighter pack, you know, when it's packed out tight on the inside. But also in this front admin compartment here, all the pockets are sewn in as well, so you didn't have no power mesh. So if you wanted to stick a bulkier item in some of these slip pockets, you just couldn't do it because they're sewn in and there's no flexibility to them. So I would have liked to seen a couple of power mesh pockets here where you can slip a power bank, and you know it'll bulge out a little bit, but since this pocket had a little bit of dedicated volume, that would have been okay. So I would have liked to have seen at least 2 power mesh pockets there, and of course some stretchy water bottle pockets. Now, I'm not a backpack designer, so I imagine if you were to put some stretch water bottle pockets on this, it would totally change the way the bag looks from an aesthetic point, but just from a functional standpoint, these pockets were pretty tight to use, especially when the backpack was fully packed out. Another area of improvement I think that could be done to this bag is the backpack straps. They're a little thin, they're a little narrow, and they don't have any curvature to them. So while this backpack is built military tough, even down to the stitching and the thread work, the backpack straps are a little bit thin, and because it's 30 liters and you can really load this bag up, I would have liked to seen a little bit beefier strap, a little bit more padding to kind of fit the overall military toughness of this bag. While it was still comfortable, they are a little thin, and I think a beefier strap would have made it a little bit more enjoyable to carry, especially when it's fully loaded. So some final thoughts on the Milthread Talos Rolltop backpack. Now, of course, I'm a little partial to Rolltop, so I really enjoyed this backpack. Now, I know they're not for everybody, and they get a lot of hate sometimes. If you haven't tried a Rolltop backpack or a top-loading backpack, I honestly encourage you to give it a try. Maybe even try this one out, because this one's pretty cool. Now, it's not for everybody, and it's definitely for a specific type of packer and a specific type of user. Again, like we mentioned in the video, if you're somebody who works from the bag and needs in and out access throughout the day, probably not the best option for you. But if you're a modular packer like myself, I use packing cubes, tech pouches, my first aid kit's a pouch. Everything's in this little pouch. It's easy for me to work in and out of this bag, and the versatility that this bag provides kind of outweighs all the other things. And I just love love a top loading roll top backpack. Now the biggest complaint and most common thing I hear about top loading and roll top backpacks is I can't get to my stuff quick enough. Now I'm no Clark Kent superhero type. I never need lightning quick access to my things. I always have time to put the bag down, undo the buckles, and get into the bag. And I really enjoy that. It's a tactile feeling of playing with the buckles and zippers and looking through your stuff and being able to utilize all the pouches and different cubes and stuff that I like to use. So again, it definitely appeals to a certain style of user and packer, but I honestly encourage you to give it a try. But now, of course, I want to know your thoughts on the Milthread Talos Rolltop backpack. Where are all my roll top lovers at? Where are all my top loading bag lovers at? Leave me a comment. Let's make 2025 the year of the roll top. Let's see some support for these style of bags. Now, I know that this is not for everybody, but let me know your honest thoughts down in the comments. Is this something that you would want to try? What do you think about the bag's overall aesthetics from Miltread? I really think they have a nice lineup. But of course, if you have any more questions about the bag, certainly ask them down in the comment section below. I happily answer any questions and I always respond to every single comment. But yeah, give me your honest thoughts about this bag. But thank you so much for watching another review video, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.